Well, that was a nice little bounce back game, eh, Dustin?
It was, but it's a little more hairy than I would have liked. But a win's a win.
We'll
A
get
win's
to
a
that in
win.
a second. Dustin. So we are sans Kevin, but regardless, welcome to the Seahawks Sessions postgame show featuring myself, Dan Cruz, and Dustin Henry.
Mhm.
Kevin's not here because, work obligations and whatnot, because he's a very busy man,
Yes.
very busy individual.
I think all of us we would love if podcasting was our full-time job, but unfortunately it is not.
It is not.
We all have day jobs. So
It's a shame. It's a shame. But you know what? At the same point, I thought about going into like radio full time, but then I was like, too much work.
Yeah, there's some stuff you got to do in radio that you don't. They're like, if you're in radio, your schedule can be a little bit weird because people think, a lot of people, and I used to think this way, that like once the radio show is over, oh, your day's over, but it's not. They'll send you for like appearances. You got to go to like random events and like set up, the radio station sets a booth up there. You gotta do like promos at car dealerships. There's other things. There's things they got to do. So
yeah, which thank God for the podcasting industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe to the show, wherever you get your podcast, however you be listening, and wherever you be watching. On YouTube or on, probably the only place where we post video on here, but, whatever. And engage with the comments. Be nice, you pieces of garbage anyway. Don't take your comments. This isn't a live show. What are we talking about here?
Oh, yeah.
But,
it's recording? All right.
It's recording, but as per usual, Dustin, we need to get to a quick advertising break because what do we learn, kids?
This show ain't free.
Cue the music. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
That's right, peeps. Use the promo code BellyUpSports at SeatGeek.com with the SeatGeek app to get $20 off your first purchase of tickets of various things like comedy shows, sporting events, race car, vroom vroom. Use the promo code BellyUpSports to get $20 off first purchase. SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. Thanks to our friends at SeatGeek for sponsoring this podcast and all their Belly Up podcasts. So I know how you're feeling about this game.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, oh, it's whatever. I mean, the score doesn't really tell the whole story of the game. Because if it wasn't for a punt return touchdown and a garbage time touchdown, Seahawks blow out Tennessee.
For sure. However, there's a few things that I think I would mildly disagree with you. Now, my last check, and candidly, I was watching the game on Red Zone, which they didn't show large chunks of it because for a large part of the game, it was in hand, obviously.
It was.
Seahawks. But the thing is, the Seahawks only, by my memory, got to Cam Ward 3 times, 3 sacks. Okay, they did add a fourth.
They had a fourth sack. Moffitt got there. Byron Murphy got there. And
Leonard Williams.
And Kansas City just won.
Yes, they did. I saw that real time. My iPad is next to me. I'm keeping an eye on other games. But I thought that this was, again, the Seahawks did not generate any turnovers in the form of interceptions and in the form of fumbles. I thought that this was a prime opportunity with that Titans offensive line and the way they haven't been able to protect, and Cam Ward, being a rookie and going through some growing pains. I thought they would have more turnovers. The Seahawks, they did win this game, but I told you in the green room, I said I shudder to think what this offense would be without JSN, because He is their do-everything man. He is their safety valve. He is everything. Now, the Seahawks run the ball when they get into the red zone 64% of the time. And I will admit, I'm more of a worrywart. You know this. Kevin knows this. Everyone on the show and who watches the shows knows that I'm a worrywart. But
You are.
the Titans came out. They got that early field goal. And then when the Seahawks responded with the field goal, I said, man, here we go again. They're going to get into the red zone. They're not going to be able to cash in. And really, the touchdowns, the 2 touchdowns that were to JSN were no doubters. He almost had a third. He came down with it, but the Titans defender was able to shove him out of the end zone, and JSN was not able to get his feet down. But there were a couple things about this game that concerns me. One, they did not pick off Cam Ward at all. Also, the Titans actually led in time of possession on this game. They had the ball longer than the Seahawks did, and the Seahawks, the drives that they scored on were quick hitters. The JSN walk-in touchdown. If you saw it, Dan, he pretty much could walk in because Sam hit him with a beautiful throw. JSN, we may as well address it right now. He's making history. He made history this game. He had 8 receptions, 167 yards, 2 TDs. Like I said, almost a third. He now has the Seahawks single-season receiving yard record, and we just finished the 12th week of the season. DK Metcalf was the receiver that had it prior, and I believe you, in doing your research, you said it took DK all 16 games to get there, or 17 games rather, or is it 18 now? Jesus,
I'm not sure, but
yeah.
So I didn't see the whole game because I
Yeah.
had other obligations to attend to.
Yes.
But for good reasons. But regardless, I did catch the rest of the third, like half of the third quarter and the entire fourth quarter. So I was able to see it. I caught a few bits and pieces here and there. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess they wanted to do, which was like blow them out early and then just see how they do the rest of the game, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, if you were to take the punt return touchdown and the garbage time score at the end of the game, this wasn't close.
Yeah, it's a blowout, but when the Titans have 3 points for the majority of the game, then all of a sudden you get the punt return, which I was not happy about. Chimero DK, he was the player that I was worried about heading into this game, and I said, he and Cam Ward are starting to develop something. Now, obviously, he's the one that scored on the punt return touchdown, but he's also the one that got the touchdown before the Titans attempted the onside kick. So, I mean, I was expecting, and I would imagine the Seahawks defense, there's probably, I mean, they did get 4 sacks. I thought they could feast, though, with that Titans offensive line being what it is. Cam Ward is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. So I thought that they had an opportunity to just dominate. And I'm not going to say that they didn't dominate, but I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I think they had a little bit of fatigue from that Rams game that carried over because they had to play their absolute behinds off last week to keep the Seahawks in that game. So it was a win that we expected. I just thought it would be a little bit more dominating. And the concern that I have is, and Kevin's talked about it ad nauseum, the Seahawks are not generating turnovers. That's
a concern.
Weakness.
Yeah.
That is the weakness, and they need to clear that up. And also the Titans went for it on fourth down. They were 5 of 7 converting on fourth down. You got to stop that. You got to stop that because that allowed the Titans to sustain some drives. But both teams, very, very few punts in this one. The Titans punted 3 times. The Seahawks punted twice. So drives were finishing with points, but it had a
feel off.
Yeah. It feels off. It feels like the team did not play as crisp as I felt they should have, and I felt that this was an opportunity. This was an opportunity to be that Saints game from earlier in the season where they just dominated from the word go. And
Yeah.
there was no doubt about that. They were playing a undermanned team and a team that was lesser than, but I guess that's why the NFL is the NFL. But anyone watching that game could see it just the offense at times looks like Jackson Smith-Njigba and not a whole lot else. Thank goodness he is out there. Now, the running game, Zach Charbonnet did get a touchdown in this one, but it was one of those things. They got into the red zone and then they started trying to run the ball because that's what they do. They mentioned it on the broadcast. 64% of the time the Seahawks hit the red zone, they run the ball. They're trying to make it their bread and butter. And it worked to some degree in this game. But again, I thought it was an opportunity for them to feast. The Titans were giving up a lot of rushing yards coming into this game. And the Seahawks didn't really – they get over 100 rushing yards. They got 114.
Yeah, 114, which take it what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's – listen, at the same point, a win's a win. You really can't be too mad about it.
No.
Because we'll see where they stack up in the division right now as of tomorrow, as of this recording. The Rams have yet to play Tampa Bay. But I want to throw this out there. Brian Nemhauser, Hawk Blogger, threw this out there in a tweet about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks that are injured reserve when they're eligible to return. Julian Love next week after the Colts game when they play Minnesota.
Okay.
Jaron Reed at Atlanta week 14. Derek Young week 14 at Atlanta. Torrey Horton week 6. Torrey Horton's been placed on injured reserve, by the way. He's got a shin issue.
Saw that.
He comes back week 16 against the Rams. So they could be loaded up and ready to go.
Yeah,
defensively by the time the second Rams game rolls around.
Yeah,
loaded up defensively and ready to go. Which it's nice. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
because they're top 10 in total defense right now.
Yes,
but they're doing it with most half of their defense on injured reserve.
Yeah, and let me say, Dan, you are right. I sometimes forget that they are as dinged up as they are, and it could have been worse. Yeah, it could have been worse for sure. I mean, they did not drop this game, but part of the reason why I feel so pessimistic about it, despite the fact that I'm very happy, a win is a win. They got out of there. JSN looks unbelievable. Sam Darnold, it was a rebound game that he needed to have.
He needed that. Yeah, he needed this game to bounce back.
He made some throws that you could tell, okay, he's got his mojo. He's got his confidence. One of the throws to JSN, he rolled out, came back and threw it from the opposite hash. That's a tough throw. I've never played quarterback, but other people that have played quarterback say that's one of the toughest throws to make. And he made it no problem. So Indeed. he's going back to that well. And you feel good about that. But the other thing is they rely so much on JSN. You'd like to see somebody else really get it going. But I made sure to highlight this moment for you because I thought it was hilarious, and I know you're a big AJ Barner guy. They ran the barnyard. They go to run the barnyard. They line up to convert. AJ Barner, with his cadence, he drew the Titans offside.
That's awesome.
It extended the.
That is awesome.
So
that is awesome.
AJ Barner doing some work.
That is great. Former high school quarterback too was AJ Barner. By the way, people forget about that. He was a high school quarterback.
No, it makes sense why they line him up. Yeah,
he's got the canes down.
No.
But I can't be too mad about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah,
because they're home against the Colts next week, right? They're hosting the Colts.
I believe so. Let me double check.
Go fact check me, please.
Yeah.
Because I think they're home against Indianapolis, at Minnesota, home against Minnesota, at Atlanta, then the Rams, at home, and then
Yeah.
2 straight, and then like 3 straight on the road.
They
to
are
close out the
at
year.
they are at Seattle for the Colts game.
Okay, they're hosting the Colts. Got it.
Yep.
And then they're home against Minnesota or at Minnesota.
Let me double check that too. Let me double check that one. Seahawks, Vikes. Now, I will say, as we've discussed ad nauseum, yes, they are home against the Vikings as well. As we've discussed ad nauseum, in previous eras of the Seahawks, you'd be terrified to have all these road games, especially closing out, like you said, closing it out on the road. But under Mike Macdonald, the team's got the road game figured out. They do. Their record on the road is phenomenal right now.
They play the Vikings next week.
Oh, they play the Vikings.
They play the Vikings next week. Yeah, and then they're at Atlanta, home against the Colts, and then the Rams, and then 2 straight on the road against Carolina, and then San Francisco to close out the year.
Yeah, I see that now. I had the Colts. I thought they were playing the Colts next week in my mind, and I think that's why I was so negative on this game, because I'm thinking if they play this way against the Colts, it's not going to be good. But
now Minnesota's not been playing well.
No, they haven't. And
thank you, Vikings.
Yes. I mean, how much do you think that they? I mean, I don't want to.
It's funny. I think it's the funniest thing in the world, because they really decided, hey, we're going to let this quarterback who got us to 14-3, got us to essentially the number 2 record in the NFC playoffs.
Yeah,
we're going to let him go because we have really high hopes on this project.
Yeah, on JJ McCarthy.
Let's call it what it is. JJ McCarthy was a project coming out of college. He was a project going into the draft, and he got overhyped because he was a Harbaugh guy.
Yeah.
He was a Harbaugh guy, and people forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have a ton of college football knowledge. It's just not my –
I unfortunately do, which sucks, but what are you going to do?
But the thing is, J.J. McCarthy, they mentioned it on today's broadcast, because if you saw any of the Vikings-Green Bay game, it was not good.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good.
The Green Bay Packers defense dominated him. McCarthy made some throws that were, some bad picks. So that's a thing. If the Seahawks don't generate any turnovers against JJ McCarthy, they don't pick him, I will continue to be concerned.
I won't be too concerned. I'll be annoyed, but I won't be too concerned, because at the same point, the defense, even without the turnovers, is playing great.
They are.
Because I like to take this from the 30,000 foot view and say, okay, I hate to throw this out again, but the Pete Carroll years, you were praying to God that they would just get a stop.
Yeah.
You're praying to God that they just get a stop. The football gods, anything, don't care. You just pray that they would get a stop, and they couldn't get a stop. Now you're like, okay, when are they going to get a stop in a good way?
Yeah.
Because they have some dogs on that defense.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, because again, we keep comparing the Carroll era to the Macdonald era, the new era, but how can we not reference Pete Carroll? He was the coach of this team for 15 years.
Yeah.
So you got
No, listen, for the people that are sick and tired of me and Dustin and Kevin referencing the Carroll years, let's understand this. Yeah, there were some really good years under Pete Carroll, but most of the last 10 years plus, a majority of under 10 years, not great defensively. But they were still winning games, which confused the shit out of me. But what are you gonna do? It's
well, and that's what I was gonna say, because under the Pete Carroll era, even in the waning years, you knew that the defense was going to generate turnovers. They had the capacity to do so, but they could not. But they could not stop people. No. And now it's kind of flipped. The defense doesn't get as many big turnovers, excluding, the fluke plays against the Cardinals and certain things that happen, but they get stops. Reliably, they get stops.
Now I asked you the question here. Would you rather more turnovers or more stops?
More stops. Because you can win the game. You need the bend but don't break philosophy,
There you go.
Which if I'm honest with myself, but it's it's concerning to be negative in the turnover department. It's been a long time.
That's the pessimist in you.
Yes, it is, and I can't stop it. It's how my brain works. But a win is a win. Cam Ward, he did get outside the pocket a few times, and he did show some moments. But like I said, the Titans, they don't have much to look forward to. So maybe it was just me expecting more, because there is a slight pattern with this team of where they put their foot on the gas, they get out to an early lead, and then it's kind of like they stall. So I am just concerned down the line when they play some opponents that are a little of higher quality.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. But the Rams game also gives me hope, because the Rams were a quality opponent.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks should have been blown out in that game. They should have.
That's the other thing, which is like, you really can't think too hard about this, because they should have been destroyed by the Rams.
Yes.
And the fact that they turned the ball over 4 times, Seattle did, and still held the Rams to under 300 yards of total offense is nothing short of a friggin' miracle.
Yeah.
But I can't help but feel like, all right. My overall thoughts on this game is like, okay, it's a win.
Yeah. There's some offensive things that I'd like them to clean up a little bit, but I will say, unequivocally now, people are gonna think what they want. But JSN is the best receiver in the National Football League. He is
by a mile.
He is the first. I saw Richard Sherman tweet this out while I was watching the game. He is the first wide receiver in the history of the league to have 75 yards through the first quarter of 11 consecutive games. He broke, and I feel like we kind of glossed over this at the beginning of the show because I was so negative on the game, but he has his total yards, and this was into the third quarter. He had already hit 1,309 yards total on the season, and we have a chunk of the season left, everybody. That is the single season receiving yardage record for the Seattle Seahawks. He's doing it all right now. No one can stop him.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Who currently owns the single season receiving record in NFL history?
In NFL history,
That's recent.
I would go with, I'm just going to throw a guess out there, but I believe it's Calvin Johnson.
Hold on. Receiving record single season. Calvin Johnson, 1964 and 2012.
Okay.
He broke Jerry Rice's previous record, which was 1848, which has stood for 27 years.
Oh, man.
Cooper Kupp actually holds the second highest record in NFL history with 1947. So, and Julio Jones in 2015 was third.
Yeah.
With 1871. So
I think it's in range.
I think he can do it.
He's got games. He's got games. This was week 12.
He's got 1,300 yards in 12 games.
Yeah. He's averaging more than 100 yards per game.
Yeah. What the hell?
That's what I have to tell myself. Because I'm like, they rely too much on JSN. But you have
he gets
JSN.
Open.
Yeah. If he keeps getting open, I mean, you can't fault Sam for that.
No.
He's open. So he's got to throw him the ball. Of course. I had such high hopes for the running game, and it hasn't really panned out. So I think that's part of what's coloring my perception. But I mean, the Seahawks have 8 wins, everybody. This is a phenomenal season so far. The defense is playing well despite all the injuries. They went down to Nashville. They got a win. The Titans played better than they were, especially early in the game. I was surprised. They flushed Sam Darnold out a lot. They were able to flush him out and pressure him a little bit.
Yeah.
Sam navigated it well.
Got sacked a couple times though, right?
Yeah. But the offensive line is not totally healthy either. We have to remember Gray Zabel was far from 100% in this game. He played
great.
But yes. But he's not 100%. And of course, the offensive line, I think we've just we've gotten a little spoiled too. At least I have, because the offensive line has been so great this year. So when they give up sacks, you're thinking, what the heck? But the Titans, as you noted,
it's perspective you got to learn here.
Yes.
Because as much as we like to listen, us as fans, it's our obligation to bitch and complain and stuff like that. Because at the same point, we're fans.
Yes.
We're fans. Thank God we're not coaches and general
Oh my goodness. I would be
Thank God. That's the perspective I like to play here, because we're just fans.
Yeah.
Who cares? And by the way, to every single one of you NFL media and football experts, in quotes, that said the Seahawks would only finish with 5 wins because of Sam Darnold, here's what you can do.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
And why does
Why? Because them, that's why.
No, it's true though.
It's true.
I have to take my hat off to you, because you were very, very optimistic. I remember that show with one Jackson Bevins and you and myself and Kevin. Jackson, Kevin, and I, we were negative on their offseason, because at that point we felt like they were tearing the team apart, and we were frustrated. Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head. We were fans. And you're thinking they won 10 games last year. Why are you blowing everything up? You're getting rid of DK. You're getting rid of, I mean, the Geno move, Schneider looks different. He looks brilliant. He got an extension. And I think partially is because everything has come up well so far. They have made the right gambles.
How much of a freaking genius does Jody Allen look right now?
Oh, yeah.
How much of a genius does she look right now? Yeah. Because she basically said, I have to make a serious decision regarding the future of Pete Carroll and or John Schneider. I have to choose one or the other. Who am I going to pick?
And she chose John.
And you know what? If I were in her shoes, I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was backlash from the fan base.
Yeah,
sure.
There was a.
Pete
let's go back to that
in Seattle. He is beloved, and he will be for a long time.
Let's go back to that. I remember where I was when I got the news that Carroll was let go. Jack, believe it or not, was the first one to tell me this.
Yeah,
he screamed at me in all caps in text messages. Pete Carroll's gone. And I was at work, and I was like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. And then a couple of my coworkers who knows a Seahawk fan came up to me and says, Pete Carroll's gone. I'm like, oh, my God. And then I went to dash onto Twitter, and I saw the news, and I was like, Jody Allen has balls. She had stones to do that.
I mean, I reacted. I remember I was mad. You know, I was mad initially because I was saying, oh, he got pushed out, and I did a reactionary because they tried. What I was mad about is the team tried to say that it was a mutual decision, and we did. Ryan and I said to Ryan, I texted him and I said, I just watched this press conference. I took a lot of notes. Can we do a reaction? And he was like, sure. So do
you guys have that video or episode somewhere? How long ago was that?
I'll have to go back into the archives, but also
on it.
If we're gonna give Jody some credit, we got to give her credit twice, because she also had to decide. Because as the stories have come out about Russ and leaving and everything, she had to decide between Russ or Pete, and she chose Pete, and it worked out okay for And then when she had to make another decision whether to hang on to Pete, a beloved figure and head coach for the franchise, arguably one of the most popular head coaches for the franchise, she chose right again. So I mean, hats off. I mean, we have gone way off track here. The BS Express is in full effect.
Yeah,
but it's because there's not.
Yeah. Dustin's the conductor now.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Yeah.
I
Ain't
mean,
that awesome?
we said all that needed to be said about the Titans game, and you did talk me off the ledge a little bit, Dan, because I was angry that it
I
was this
tend to do
close.
these things to you.
But it was. You're right. The punt return touchdown, that rarely happens. Although, hey, credit to Odike. He looks like a player. Titans got something in
Yeah.
him. But man, yeah, it's just she really made a right decision twice. And you're right.
Yep.
It takes courage to do that. She did that knowing she was going to face backlash. But here we go. Winning cures ails. Winning
This is
cures
true.
ails because, and also hats off to Sam Darnold to come out. Now his game wasn't mind blowing against the Titans, but it was efficient. It was efficient.
It was efficient enough
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, they made the right decision.
Yeah,
They made. I can look back at everything and take it all with a grain of salt and just say, okay, they got the win. They didn't play how many expected them to play, Seattle, but they got it done. Okay,
Yes.
let's move forward. Let's
They
move over
did.
to the Vikings. Let's move over. Let's keep, as much as the critiquing can take over the fact that, oh my God, it's a win.
It
The
is.
hindsight being 2020, it's a freaking win. Who cares?
Mhm.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move forward. All right, Dustin, any final thoughts to close up shop for the day?
I don't really have any final thoughts. Like you said, a win is a win. They got there. And, on to the Vikings. I sound like Bill Belichick now. And hopefully,
We're on to Cincinnati.
A little bit of the Seahawks-Vikings game. That was one of the first games that we previewed for Seahawks Sessions last year.
We did. Hey, full circle.
Yeah, it's coming back full circle. And the difference is the guy that was under center for the Vikings, he's under center for the Seahawks now. So it should be interesting. And, it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting matchup. We'll break that down. We'll break that down on Friday. We'll preview it. I'm sure Kevin will have his keys. We'll be ready to go.
Or because it's Thanksgiving, I have a thought for you guys that I'll bring up in the green room, because we could just make a recording only because Thanksgiving, and stuff like that. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. No big deal. With that being said, that's Dustin Henry from No Credentials Required in the Capital Region of Albany, New York. I'm Dan Cruz. I'm part-time WS, and I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. We'll see you all on this life, and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.